Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got a nice rack. It makes quite a few 8-letter words, but I'm not seeing a 7. I hope I'm not overlooking one. So, what to do? All of the tiles are bingo-y. I think probably a play of ego might leave the best rack leave. I'm not sure how much a G helps this rack. I don't think it helps it by 4 points, which is what I would be foregoing by playing OE. Ego takes a number of front hooks, but Go places a vowel under this premium square. So I'm going with ego. Except I could play it over here, in which case it only takes an S after it, as opposed to the several front hooks. So ego for 8. Pretty good. I have laterad on my rack, and I don't think that has any anagrams. And that plays in rows G and I at the moment. And it also plays in 2 different spots in row G, completely overlapping ego, should my opponent change. Ego does take an R in front, so I have laterad in column 7 as well. Can my opponent thwart all of my options? And that's just as a 7-letter play. Do I have any 8s through the existing floaters? Well, the A looks promising, but I think that's probably because this rack looks so promising. But I'm not seeing anything with this rack plus the E. How about the G? Again, not seeing anything. How about the O? Again, no. So all I have is laterad in various positions. Opponent taking a little while with his opening move, but always a good idea not to hurry your initial plays, because by their very nature they influence the whole of the rest of the game. And it's quite important to try and establish an early lead if you can, because that then gives you the option of closing the board down to maintain the lead. If you're behind, you really have to think very carefully about any moves which close the board down, because you're limiting your opportunity to catch up. 32 points for my opponent. Laterad still plays in at least 3 of the spots I identified. Wow, this is quite a big call. I can play it down here for 80 points. That is more than a lot more than any other position, but I'm opening row A as a triple row. I'm providing access to triple word squares even without a triple. I'm sticking an A next to this premium square. I don't care, I'm doing it. The points are a lot more than I would otherwise get. Wow, quite a few good scoring tiles here. In particular the X. It would be nice to get rid of the U. I don't see anything massive in row B. Putting a premium tile in front of this A. Well, I do. I have, gosh, nice play by my opponent. Straight in with a bingo. Takes out the triple threat. So I have Hakia in row B. Retaining the X, retaining the U. Can I do any better than that? I'd certainly like to get rid of this U if I can, but I don't have any. Wow, what about KUE? That's quite a nice rack leave. 37 points, pretty good. Let me just see what Hakia scores. 40 points, so comparable, but providing a lot more opportunity. So I prefer Q. I think that's what I was considering. Not really providing anything. Okay, an alternative option. How about Lurex? 39 points, keeping KHA. I quite like that. It is leaving open row B, but I might be well placed to benefit from that with these tiles. If the opponent doesn't play there, I have at the very least got KA. I'm going with this. Pretty good. Now, onto an N, I would have Ski Shan. No N's available, unfortunately. Not seeing anything, any other bingos. But quite a few floaters on the board, so I'd like to consider each of them in turn, as that may prompt something in my mind. So I'm not seeing anything with the T or the E. How about the R? No. Through the I, not seeing anything. The B, not good. L, nope. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything. I do have KA in column 10. Do I have a 5-letter play beginning H or K? Gosh, Hakes only just fails. Case is not good. So I don't think I do have a play in that spot. I can burn one of my S's pretty cheaply, and in particular that could go underneath Zoo or next to Tsar. So I have HES and that remains available, keeping quite a good rack lead. Let me just see what this scores. So 42 points, pretty good score, pretty good rack leave as well, even with the K. The K is pretty good tile, especially with vowels, and this rack leave, I would say, guarantees me a good score next turn, even if not a bingo. And this play of He's provides nothing for my opponent. So I'm going with this. Well, again, a nice rack, but my lead is just 19 points with my opponent on turn, so I'm not in a dominant position at all. I'm not seeing a bingo with this rack, which is a shame because it looks close. C and K have got good synergy. Nice bingo by my opponent, 88 points. He goes into a good lead. I'm just wondering if I do have a bingo. Dackiest, certainly not good. Now I'm looking in row A at the moment. Just not seeing anything there. So I now do need to keep the board open. And I can play Ick. 36 points, a good score. Ick takes an S and a Y after it, so I'm creating a bingo lane in row K. Opponent can't do very much about that because he can't play down column 14 because there are no 2-letter plays ending in K, at least for a few more weeks. OK will be coming in. This rack leave is super strong, especially with the floating tiles of terrible. Now, can I do any better than Ick? And I think the main thing that would be better would be a bingo. But I'm not seeing it, so Ick for 36. Now, is Wayside good? I think it is, but there's nowhere for it. GI takes nothing in front. So And what about Waysider? I'm pretty sure that's not good. Sideways would be good, but I don't think Sideway is good. I'm going to check that. Yes, it is. And I believe Seago is good. Bang, the beauties of checking words before you play them. And I know some may say that that doesn't happen in tournament games, but it does if you are part of the tablet scene where Void Challenge is the standard. And I played quite a lot of tablet games, and I think Void Challenge works really well. The top players still triumph, but it makes life easier for the weaker players. And also, it doesn't create any problems. It's nice being able to check words. I'm not advocating such a change in the regular tournament scene, primarily because with Void Challenge using tablets, it all happens electronically, so it's not absorbing anybody's time. I don't in any way think that tablets should replace regular Scrabble, but they are a pretty good alternative way of playing the same game, and particularly good for playing after work and not lugging equipment around with you. I posted a couple of vlogs on my channel in respect to the tablet tournament that's run in London, and that happens every 2 weeks. So if anybody's interested in coming along to that, regardless of ability, either to play or to say hello, you would be very much welcome. We play in the heart of London, and we get a lot of visitors in London. So there's quite often somebody new around, and it's usually pretty good fun, always. Now, am I going to be able to bingo with Sideway? Is that going to remain available? And do I have anything else? Not sure I do. I mustn't forget that Wayside is good. Actually, while my opponent is hanging around, I'm going to check Waysider. I don't think this is good. And it's not. Can't see anything onto the T. I really need this bingo. I trail by 30 with my opponent on turn, so even if I get it down, I think the likelihood is that I will be drawing level. Now I'm just wondering if I have a bigger overlap in row I, because my I can go underneath G. Well, Wayside just fails because of Zood not being good. Now Icky is good, so wow, I have Sideway in row K. Fantastic, I can't believe I overlooked that, since I was aware of the hook and I was aware of the word Sideway, but I think that's one of the challenging things about Scrabble, is that despite seeing everything, it can be possible that you don't just put all the pieces together. So it's good for the soul, keeps you humble. Now opponent is taking an enormously long period of time here. What is his rack? There's still one blank to come. Still half the bag to go. What premium tiles are left? I think it's just the J. Still 2 S's and a blank and quite a few E's, so looking at the remaining pool, pretty bingo-y. Great, opponent leaves Sideway alone, and that's good because it's a massive score, and the tiles, which can do most damage above the I, namely the Q and the X, have both been played. So Sideway for 91. Not so good. This looks a long way from a bingo. I suspect there are no 7s or 8s. I do, however, have the F and the P as scoring tiles. So a play of fun would go some way to sorting the rack out. My P can go above the I. Not seeing anything great there. Well, I have a pawn, which is quite nice, leaving Finn. That would score quite well. Look at this, a close game. I trail by 30, but opponent on turn, so we're likely to be neck and neck, or if opponent bingos, I could be trailing. And I'm not going to score massively with this rack. Do I have anything underneath sideway? My F can go underneath the E. Well, I have Fon, which isn't bad. I have Poof on my rack, but that would keep duplicate N, and I can't see anywhere great for it. I think Terrible takes an S at the end. That was implicit when I said that Zood was the problem with Wayside. Let me just check that while I have the time. Yeah, so row I is a bingo lane ending in S, which opponent takes out. Fantastic. Quite a nice score for him, but not a massive one. And there's less than 10 points between us. My Fon spot remains available. Pego not good, otherwise I could play Puffin. Uz only takes a D. Now, do I have a play beginning under BI? No. And do I have any up plays which burn an F and an N? Don't think so. So Fon for 29, a decent score. It is providing quite a nice scoring spot in row M. My opponent having taken away an S bingo lane. I am now giving one back to him. Plus there's quite a few T's to come, and F and what are good, so even if opponent doesn't bingo, I could be keeping him level with me. My rack lead not great, but both the P and the N help the U, and there are no more U's to come. So Fon has got merits and demerits. Is there an alternative play I should be thinking about? And what about taking out some of these floaters in Terrible by playing vertically? Wow, I thought for a moment Poof worked, but FI stops it from doing so. And can I make a longer play down here? I don't think so. I'm going with Fon. Fantastic, I draw an S and a blank despite playing only 3 tiles. So that looks pretty promising. And there are a lot of bingo lanes on this board. So, what do I have? And in particular, do I have a 7-header bingo ending S? And I do. I have Pruinas in row M. Do I have a bingo ending in T? I do. I have Puissant. So I'm definitely bingoing, and right now I'm about 30 points ahead, so I'm in good shape. However, look at this, still 30 tiles in the bag. So regardless of what happens in the next couple of turns, there's still plenty to play for. Now, do I have a play in row M which gets doubled? So that's a play with an S or a T underneath EF. And at least 1 tile after. So, considering the T option, that would require the blank to be a T. Well, the bingo there is Tipunas, so that doesn't work. So what about the blank as... Well, the blank could have a whole range of tiles because I have the S for going underneath EF. What goes under Woe? Okay, opponent plays there. Nice score. I still have Puissant. What would be better would be if I could get my P doubled, and that would be significantly better. I have 11 minutes on my clock, 25 tiles in the bag. So I'm going to squiz through the alphabet, and I'm looking for bingos with this rack plus a T. I'm not wondering about position. I'm just looking for recognition. I'll check position of the T after I've spotted the bingo. Nothing so far. Petunias, and I'm pretty sure Petunias has an anagram. not supinate. Wow, that just fails. Nothing there. Still not seeing anything. Wow, that looks promising. Nothing there. QU. Piquants. Even if that's good, and I don't think it is. It doesn't work. That's Pruiners as a 7. Can't see anything with this rack plus a T. Okay, so let me get Puissant down for 80. And that is a pretty kind pickup, and it's good for 2 reasons. One, it's nice for me to have a nice rack, but secondly, it means that I'm taking 7 bingo-y tiles out of the remaining pool, which reduces my opponent's chances of bingoing twice, which may be his best chance of winning. Now, I'd quite like to play off... Wow, I thought for a moment I had a bingo beginning with the P. I don't. I was thinking of pomade and promenade. So, do I have a bingo here? And if I did, where would it play? Well, there are bingo lanes in rows N and row K. So anything ending in an E is going to be fine. And there are a few floaters in Puissant to consider. Plus there's the L of Terrible and the I. Now I don't think there's a bingo here, but I do need to satisfy myself of that as best I can. So I think well, I'm thinking of Modini. I don't think it takes an E at the end. Daimones is good, but there's no S at the end of a word. So what about the floaters? Anything beginning with P? I don't think so. U, I have the un prefix, no. What about play with the I? Nothing. How about the S? I have the sum prefix, not seeing anything. So the M's my scoring tile. I'd quite like to get rid of the O, 3 to come, and I'd like to get rid of it anyway. So I could play Emo here. Opponent has quite usefully taken out the 2 R's in Terrible, which were the most useful floater. Emo scores 24 points, which is quite nice. My N can go underneath IO. The rack leaves good. I'm taking out the P, which is probably the most dangerous floater. I'd like to turn over more tiles, but I can't see a better play. Opponent has opened up quite a nice bingo lane in column 5, beginning next to the I of Agi. So I could play Moaned there. 22 points. I think I'd rather keep the good rack leave. Moaned would in any event simply create a new bingo lane in column 4. I'm going with this. Well, quite nice, but problematic in the sense that there are no scoring tiles, so I may struggle to score. Doesn't yet take an E, it will in a few weeks' time. I wonder if Pentland is good. I don't think so, I think it's Peatland I'm thinking of. Yeah, and I don't have Peatland. Now onto an O, I would have Lentando. Lentandi, not good. 3 O's to come, maybe opponent will provide one. Just looking at these 2 letter sets to see if a bingo comes to mind. Can't see anything with PE. UM not likely, IO less likely. I don't have anything which hooks Emo on my rack, I think it's just an S. Now I guess what I could do next turn is play Dental and DI just to turn over tiles. There are only 13 in the bag, so Dental is going to make a pretty hefty dent into what's left. I think Dentinal is good, which doesn't quite work in row E. Well, it doesn't quite work just due to the positioning of the eye. This whole right-hand side of the board is really dry. I'm really not alighting on any good scoring spots, regardless of my rack. But from a bingo perspective, this board is still alive. I think opponent's going to struggle to bingo twice unless he dodges both V's and the W, or gets quite lucky. Now, what can I do about this ION hook? I can't place anything after UM. Do I have anything beginning N and ending I? I don't. I'd quite like to avoid the V, so I'm not in a massive hurry to turn over a huge number of tiles. If I played Dental, I could easily draw both V's and a W. The remaining vowels look pretty good. 10 out of 20, so a completely balanced unseen pool. Opponent plays off a single tile, which suggests he's close to a bingo. If I play Dental, there'll be only 6 tiles in the bag, so if opponent bingos, he'll be drawing 6 tiles, so he will not be able to bingo twice. Is Dental the best 6-letter set I've got? It's going to leave just an N on my rack. I could play Tand, keeping an L. That would avoid duplicating the L or the N. £16 points. One more point for Dental. I think I'll go with that. The L is less useful for my opponent in row H. With the D there, he could make a play ending ED like vowed. So the L is better. 6 minutes on my clock. I'm going with Dental. Wow, not bad at all. Still G, V and W in the pool, and there are only 6 tiles in the bag, which is a nice sight. However, opponent is only 80 points behind, so he may only need 1 bingo. Fortunately, I have the V as a scoring tile. Can't see a bingo with this rack. 7 or 8. 30 points for my opponent, so he's 50 points behind. Wow, so a bingo would be enough for him. And there are bingo lanes on this board. Have I misplayed this endgame? 6 minutes on my clock. Supposing the W and the... Well, supposing my opponent has the best possible rack, what bingos does he have? The one thing he's short of is vowels, and in particular an E. That significantly reduces his bingo prospects. So, 2 tiles in the bag. Do I play off just 1 tile? Or do I do something like those? 25 points. I thought that was going to score more. Do I have a play beginning with the V at D1? Don't think so. Is there anywhere to play just the V? Don't think so. What about playing just an O? The trouble with playing just an O for a tiny score is that it opens up the possibility of my opponent catching me without even bingoing, which would be enormously annoying. So why don't I play no die, 16 points, keeping a balanced rack, bearing in mind the bag is now valve dry, retaining a scoring tile so that I can keep scoring. I am emptying the bag, and I'm just going to have to hope that my opponent doesn't bingo. No die for 16. So opponent would have romantic through an N. Can't see anything for him with the G. What about the A? Not seeing anything. Can't see anything with the V. Emicator might be good. It's not. Few. Does that have an anagram? It might. Not seeing it. What about a 7 for him? Not seeing it. So turning to my rack, I've now got 2 scoring tiles. Opponent has 4 minutes to find a bingo. And I think he needs one. He's 60 points behind. I'm definitely going to have 1 turn, and I've got some good scoring tiles. I've actually got a bingo on my rack. I've got Waveson. Wow, nowhere for it. What a shame. That would have been a fantastic end to the game. And opponent's unlikely to open a bingo lane. Yeah, a couple of bingo lanes on the board, but Waveson doesn't fit in either. However, if opponent doesn't bingo, I think this game is mine. I've got Wave in row K and FE, and I've got Wave in row N and TE, both of which are going to score around 20 points, which should be enough. Through an RE, I would have Ovenwares. Can't think of any other bingos. I do have Waveson through the A of Gavel, but as a non-bingo, and it doesn't get doubled. Opponent's clock is ticking down very slowly. He could have a... Aromatic, he does have a bingo. Wow, great spot by him. So, the final score, 462 to me, 499 to my opponent, a winning margin of 37 points, so well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. So it was me to go first, no bingo here, and I played Ego keeping late. Ego for 8, I think late is 10 points better than E as a rack leave. Opponent's rack, he plays Zoo, and I have Laterad for 80. Opponent's rack, great spot by him of Terrible. And this is my rack, D12, Hex. Oh, Hex and Zax, that would have been nice for 57 points, albeit retaining the U. So I do Lurex for 39, 18 fewer points. Keeping HAK, yep, Hex definitely better. Opponent plays Yep. Wow, UK's is A12. Look at that, coming down from the U, pretty nice. UK's without the trailing S, also good. So I play He's for 42, and that's also fine. I think Sake might well be 15 points better than EH, and if not, it's going to be fairly close. Great bingo by my opponent. And now I play Ick for 36, and I like that. It's 10 fewer points than DE, but ADES definitely 10 points better than DE, I think. Opponent's rack, he plays Hod, and now I have Sideway for 91 to take me 30 points into the lead. Opponent plays Flub, and now I have Fon for 29, nothing obviously better. Opponent plays Trite, And now I have puissant for 80, pantsuit also available for less, and a few other bingos, or a lot of other bingos. So at this point I'm in good shape, only 18 tiles left, and I have an 80-point lead, and a horrible rack for my opponent. He plays Agi. Great, no missed bingo here, and Emo was my play, so I'm happy with that. Opponent plays XI from this rack. Wow, keeping G and V. Okay, that doesn't look great. And there is a play down from PE, penated, for 36. I play dental for 17, so penated certainly better. Opponent gets rid of the G and the V. Critical play, and now an even more critical one because I'm 50 points in the lead. I can only lose to a bingo. There are bingo lanes in row K and row N, but they're both very unlikely bingo lanes given the absence of E's. So I think my play of node I didn't really achieve anything. I should, I think, probably have been trying to obstruct some of the floaters in gavel, although there's a degree of hindsight with that observation. And all of the plays down here begin or run through the E, making Agi, so they leave alone aromatic. Let me click Tell Examiner 1 best and see what is recommended. So what could I have done with this rack through the A? I guess just Avo may have done the job. I think this takes about 30 seconds to run, so shouldn't be too long. But I've no idea what it's doing, so maybe it takes longer if the situation is harder. So let's have a look. B6. Joe. Interesting, leaving 1 in the bag. It wins 100% of the time. Wow. So I played Joe for 12, for 58. I lead by 63. Opponent plays aromatic. 78, 15-point lead, draws 2 tiles. Well, I guess I can then outrun my opponent, so maybe Joe was the play. And then great spot by my opponent. He has aromatic in 2 spots, H2, which is where he played it, and also D2. Yep, both positions of the A. And look at that, aromatic would have placed a C in row O. So I'm not totally sure how my rack would have won, but I guess it would have done. I guess the A is next to this double letter square. Anyway, great spot by my opponent to catch me at the end, and quite a high scoring game, both of us over 450 points, and the absolute crucial move there, certainly the play of node I emptying the bag, when it appears that I could have played just the O and outrun my opponent after his bingo. So very interesting move to consider. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.